Hey Claiborne, it's Friday. With all of the talk of virtual backgrounds, I thought I might go over a way to make some stylized backgrounds with Lego by making them look somewhat hand-drawn. Other than using it for Zoom backgrounds, it might come in handy if you're making a Lego comic strip or something. To demonstrate how this works, I found this amazing cherry blossom tree on the Bricklink Studio gallery. Just a quick aside, something changed with the gallery and a lot of sets that could previously be downloaded no longer can be. This Sakura tree can be, and it looks amazing, so that's what I'm going to use. There's a link in the description as well. Aside from opening this in Studio and spinning it around so that I could take video long enough to cover the intro, I also just needed to do an export. I cut the bottom off of the base so it looks like it's growing out of the bottom, mostly because I like that look. Maybe if I'd thought about how I wanted this to look on Zoom, I would have squared off the trunk and let the branches stretch across the top, but maybe that's for next time. And honestly, just like this, the export makes for a great background, but I wanted to make it look hand-drawn, so for that we'll use the GIMP. So I'll start by loading the render from Bricklink Studio. Then, because I exported as a ping with a transparent background, I need to take that layer and duplicate it so that I can delete the alpha layer. You could export without a transparency, but I almost always find it's better to have an image with a transparent background. A quick note for the rest of this, there are several ways to make a sketched image using some of the artistic filters, but I've decided to skip those since the settings can be finicky, and instead set out a process that can generally apply to almost any image out there. The first step in that process, which I've just done, is to do a Sobel edge detect to find the major edges in the image. One note as I go through this, for each step I create a new layer by duplicating the previous one. This is good general practice in my opinion, since it allows you to go back if you make a mistake pretty easily. And more to the point, in our process, we'll need two of these versions to combine at the end. After the Sobel edge detect, we need to equalize the colors to bring out some of the details that weren't captured by the edge detection. Then we need to desaturate the layer. There are lots of ways to desaturate a layer or image in GIMP, so the specific one I'm using here is to go to the color menu under desaturate, and then there's the option to desaturate. It's redundant, but that's the one. I got lots of noise when I used the grayscale and other options, so I cannot recommend using them. Once the image is desaturated, we can do a high pass to help filter out the noise that the equalizing process produces and to focus only on the strong edges. As a note, we need the layer created by the previous step and this step in order to complete the drawing, so you definitely want to have at least these two steps as separate layers. We're going to duplicate the desaturated layer and invert it using the color invert, and then we need to add a mask to it. We'll have to copy the high-passed layer and paste it as a floating layer. In order to anchor it, you have to right-click on the layer dialog and select Anchor, and this will make it the mask for the desaturated layer, which actually gives us the drawn look of the image. However, in order to be able to see it better, we need to make the other layers invisible, and we can add a background layer all the way down at the bottom and make it visible. The reason we want to add it to the bottom is so that we can also make the original image, the one with alpha, visible and get a colored version of our sketched image. In the case of my image, I feel like the result of adding the original coloring to the line drawing made it too dark, so in order to lighten it up some, I'll use a second white layer as an overlay. To do this, the layer has to be above the original image, and then you just need to change the mode from normal to overlay. This does lighten things up pretty well, but it washes out the flowers. In order to fix the flowers, I can select a flower from the original image with the color picker, then make sure I'm on the overlay and color in where the flowers are with a paintbrush or pencil. I don't have to be very careful, which is nice. If you want, you can use the uncolored versions to make cool custom coloring sheets too. Maybe someone will make a cool Lego coloring book for adults to keep us all sane in this very weird time we're living in. In addition, the way the flowers are colored can be used to change or simplify the coloring of the rest of the image, or even to make it look more watercolored if you want. I think this turns out pretty good, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Could this make a good Zoom background? Claiborne, I'll see you on Tuesday.